pretty topical.
Yeah, is that what we want to do?
Let's scrap the movie we watched. Just completely. God, that'd be so fucking stupid.
We spend like literally 15 seconds on the movie we just watched, and then we're like, anyway, also.
Anyways, you ever watch the Winnie the Pooh movies, guys? You ever see those before?
You a fan of Snow White?
Bro, I love Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, you do.
Oh, right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Two Broken Thumbs.
Oh.
I am your host, Cole, from channel Cole's Corner. And with me, as always, is Spikeather, a.k.a. James.
Yep. That's from channel Cole's Corner.
You'll find him here amongst other people that I regularly do stuff with.
Yep, I'm a person who he does stuff with.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
And as such,
God, we have such good chemistry. What?
We're so good together, bro. We do things together, and then on occasion we don't. It's perfect. Yeah. So how have you been, man? Let's do some small talk. How have you been?
Oh, small talk? Yeah, sure. Yeah. I've been good. Chilling. School semester is going fine. It's a pretty easy one for me. I just had to finish up a couple of more electives, and work's good. And yeah, everything's good. How about you? How are you doing?
Where do you stand on the Middle East? I know I'm not touching that can of words. I'm not going
okay, well that's funny, but
so it popped up on my Twitter feed, and I have not looked into it at all or touched it. And I think it's weird. Everyone's trying to like give their 2 cents on it, right? Does that feel?
What
weird?
Do you mean?
Like,
no, everyone's an expert in the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East.
If you don't know the situation, don't talk about it.
Listen, after I graduated from Russia-Ukraine school, I immediately started looking into Middle Eastern conflicts, and yeah, I think I have a really good take on the situation. So, honestly, the take. Objectively,
this is just supposed to be a bit. I didn't think I was going to get into like the rant about how I feel about seeing that online, but I guess I accidentally did.
Hey, this is what it is.
This is a good look for the team I'm on. This is a real good look.
The team you're on?
Oh yeah, for those of you who are watching the YouTube, you may notice there's this logo RIB in the corner. That is the group I'm with for my Smash stuff. I'm officially a signed player for Run It Back Gaming, which is very exciting.
That's awesome. And now all of you can decide if I knew about that before he said it or if I have forgotten.
I probably told you, but then
you did.
I did. Okay. I signed the contract officially. And this is all boring stuff. I have been fine. I have been looking up stuff for drama wise. There's the whole situation going on with Jack's films. That's crazy. I don't know if you've seen that at all.
That was crazy. Yo.
I've been keeping my nose to the ground on that. See what happens.
Doxing adventures with the Act Man, but for real.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm seeing people. I'm seeing. Funny. Yeah, I'm seeing weird takes where people are like, well, Jack had it coming, and I'm like, huh? What? And their defense is like, he's been harassing her for nearly like a month or a year now with his content, and I'm like,
yeah, weird take, dog. Like,
yeah,
making videos about somebody, I'm not sure if that's good enough to be harassment, and even if it is, these are very different things.
Plus, I've been watching the videos, and he does at times give her credit. Like, she'll say something, he's like, okay, that's actual insight. That's actually something worth saying. Good.
Well, he's like, my understanding is he's like, because he was a big force in bringing down Jinx, who was like one of the original big React channels that didn't actually do anything. Just that there. What?
I don't know about this. What the hell?
Oh yeah, so like. It was probably like 6 some years ago now. There was a guy named Jinx, and there was a content cop done on him. And then this dude, Jack's Films, he did a video. Jinx reacted to one of his videos. He like made a song. It's all edited and everything. It's really nice. So Jinx just plays it, stares at it, smiles, laughs every once in a while. He's like, whoa, what the hell? Oh my God, what is this? like totally useless commentary.
Right.
So Jax was like, I'm gonna react to his video, and he does the same thing. He just stands there smiling, staring at the video the whole time he's playing. And then at the end of it, he's like, yeah, it's really cool that you can just re-upload my entire content and just like not add anything to it whatsoever. Like, it's super bullshit, dude.
Oh god,
and that's
like, the thing with XQC too. XQC's getting in trouble for that too, right?
So it's happening again. Is essentially what's going on now with Twitch streamers, and like Hassan, XQC, you know, Asmongold. Those are like the perpetrators to various degrees. I think Asmon's generally pretty good in his stuff, but
I was watching a video. I was watching a video by Legal Eagle. Do you watch him at all?
I'm familiar with his work.
He's pretty good. He makes some good content, pretty quality stuff. And he made a video talking about the situation, about how is it like illegal for them to be doing this, sort of like uploading content or reacting to content, and like, you know, parading around the shield of fair use. And he went into a discussion about the H3 podcast people, Ethan Klein, where he was.
Oh yeah,
he went
his
to court.
React content was great back in the day.
Well, he had a video where a creator went to court and tried to sue him over one of his reaction videos. Yeah,
it was a huge thing.
You know about the whole thing, yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
and it's kind of what set the precedent for today's standard of like reaction content of the day. And I think it's interesting where everything's currently sitting at with reaction commentary. There are ways to do it that I think are appropriate. There's a guy I watched named Coney, and I know you're here for the movie review. We'll get to that in a second. This is something we both, as both people who do stuff on the internet, it's something we want to talk about.
I recognize that name. Is he a gamer dude?
Coney is like a big like Smash guy. He does a lot of commentary for Smash events, but he does other stuff on his YouTube channel. He does a lot of like watching he's reacting to Watch Mojo. So like he'll watch a Watch Mojo video and just like shit all over it. It's really fun.
Watch Mojo does pretty good at creating content for other people.
Yeah, but the important thing is when he does watch a video made by somebody, he will always be like, I already liked the video, I subscribed, I made sure to give them a follow, and you all in chat should do the same. Make sure you go watch this video. Like he tells his audience to make sure to go and support the creator of the video. That way, and I think he puts the link in the description for people to watch on the YouTube channel. And it's just like, it's the smart way of doing it. Like, yes, he's watching through the whole video, but he reminds his audience that, hey, I'm just a guy reacting to it. I'm adding info or I'm adding jokes and whatnot. Make sure to go watch the original though, because they probably have more insight than what I do, which is true. It's a smart way of doing this type of content.
Yeah, I agree with all that pretty much. So I guess like my 2 cents on the whole situation. So like that whole legal case that H3 found himself in, it was like a big thing for him, you know, like thousands of dollars in legal fees and whatnot. So big deal, big stuff. So the idea, I think, is like YouTubers, Twitch streamers, they should try really hard to avoid needing to get anything into the legal system, because then it's like, then everyone's got to be really careful. It's like a big deal for everybody. So the general idea that I would go with is like, you know, remaining respectful, linking the original creator stuff. If you're reacting to a video live, drop the link in the chat for your viewers. Maybe they could like turn it on a different monitor and mute it or something, have it minimized. That way they're still getting a view for it, that sort of thing. And then, you know, at the end, recommending the channel and everything. And I think a lot of reactors are pretty good about it. I think sometimes people slip. The thing, when it comes to like transforming content, like if you and I watch a movie and we were allowed to put up like all kinds of movie clips in the background while we're talking about it, like that's pretty transformative, right? People aren't going to watch like our video to try to watch the movie. That's not going to work well.
If we're talking about like a specific scene or a specific moment in the movie and I put it on screen to show what's happening for the audience who may have not seen it, that's
exactly.
Yeah.
That's really helpful for us to like help us make our point, but people aren't going to like watch our review to try to like consume the whole movie.
Right.
So with that said, like that's really transformative. And then likewise, if Asmongold is watching a video on like, I don't know, what makes a good MMORPG, that's probably something he can contribute a lot of insight to because he plays those games all the time.
Right.
Now, if someone who doesn't know anything about the JFK assassination is going to try to watch an hour-and-a-half documentary about everything that went into it, it's like, what are you going to add? What are you going to be able to add? What do you think you're going to be able to add?
Not only that, but from what I understand, XQC used the defense of, I can't react too much because chat would get upset of how I react to it. So I just chose not to react.
What an indictment of your own ability to react. Because I don't, it's fun to be like, oh, YouTube's not like that hard of a job. Like reacting, it seems like there's a talent involved in being able to like meaningfully contribute to a video while you're watching it.
Not just that, it's reacting to it, adding things, editing, like post-production, like trying to find moments that are worth talking about. And I know the video wasn't posted I don't think the XQC video was posted to YouTube, but like it was okay. Well, that was weird because that's one of his defense was like, well, it's not going on YouTube, so don't worry about how I'm reacting to it. And it's like
I'm like 99% sure it went up on YouTube. It's only like 10 minutes longer than the original video.
Yeah, and what's crazy to me is that like his defense of being like, well, I don't know if it's going online, so like, what does it matter if I react to it or not? Is so silly. It's the people come to you for your personality, good or otherwise. Like I don't, like, you get what I'm saying? It's weird.
Yeah. No, I do think there's plenty of people who just want to like act like they're watching a video with a friend, and that's cool and all, but I don't know. I don't think that's good enough. There's lots of things I want to do that I'm not allowed to do. So like, I don't know. I don't think that's good enough justification. I think there needs to be more, and it's a tricky thing because I don't want to be like, oh, the video of you reacting to it needs to be at least 30% longer than the original video. Like any kind of solid rule like that seems really hard to make and like have good reason. That's not just arbitrary. So I would highly advise we just like be really careful with this, be very transformative with it, and like, don't let it become an issue. You don't want anyone else getting in on this because like it's not good when people start DMCA striking each other. Like that's not a good thing that we want to happen. We don't want that to be normalized.
Unless of course, it's you were never given permission to show those videos, in which case
that's the thing. Those people should get struck down. But
which is kind of what started the whole situation with Sniper Wolf. And then the moment she started losing ad revenue is the moment she tried to dox Jack's film.
Right. And I haven't watched either their content. I've only heard about it. So, but it sounds like she's not being a very good reactor. And that's shitty, especially for the people who worked on those TikToks.
The big thing too, and I think is the most important to remember, is that Jax is married, he has a wife, and Sniper Wolf uses that in her Instagram story to like attack him, being like, dude, you have a wife, why aren't you doing something else with your life? Why you keep going after me? Like, I should get a restraining order on you. Like, huh?
Yeah.
What?
The online stuff needs to stay online.
Yeah, and
that's how it should be.
It's just crazy because she made a tweet being like, hey, I'm actually scared for my life that we did not know that she was at our house. That's terrifying. I don't like this. This is weird. This is not okay.
Yeah.
Which is true. The whole situation is just so, to be fair, Jack's Films is taking it in stride. He's like, this is fucked up. I'm not going to stop though. It's like, that's probably part of it. And she's still joking about it. On her Instagram story recently, she posted a picture of her and a friend being like, we just showed up at your house. What you gonna do?
Yeah,
like making light of the situation.
You need to step back from the internet for a couple weeks and then come back and not mention it more, I think.
Yeah, it's all just like a weird situation, and it's going to be interesting in the next few, I guess, months, see what happens from this, the fallout, I guess.
Yeah,
just from like content creation.
And it's I feel this is a situation where I feel kind of bad for YouTube because, like, I don't know how quickly like YouTube can get around to like taking your channel away or something of that nature when they find out she's done something like this. But everyone on Twitter and other YouTubers immediately are like saying like, oh, you got to ban this person, you got to ban this person. And I feel like as a company, you don't want to look like you're just doing what the mob essentially tells you to do.
Right, yeah. Like she is in the wrong.
Especially if you don't have time to verify.
She is in the wrong, and what they should do is look into it themselves. Like take time and like kind of figure out what happened. The problem becomes that people are going to jump to their own conclusions, and the conclusion is going to be they're trying to protect her. And I know I watched Adam's video about talking about it, and he's just like, if this was a man doing this to a woman, like he would have been banned instantly. We don't know if that's true or not, right? It doesn't.
Maybe.
It's
hard to know.
Right, and the other problem too is that Cyberwolf is such like a YouTube cash cow, and YouTube like promotes her a bunch like on their homepage for new viewers. So it's a really it's hard.
I don't know if I buy that argument very much, just because like
she was a speaker at one of their
billion
events
minutes
recently.
of YouTube watched per day. Like she's a good chunk, but she's not like a good chunk, you know?
Yeah. What was the? She was at an event recently. Oh, she just disabled her YouTube comments.
Oh, good sign.
That's good. That's
makes sense.
All right, hold on. I'm looking at this article, and the related article is Logan Paul is likely using steroids. People think. All right, sure. Okay. Yeah.
Do you keep up with any of that? Because I do not.
No, I don't. I know currently Logan is about to do a boxing fight with someone, and they're both like, "Oh, you scammed you scammed a bunch of people with crypto," and like, "Oh, you did too." It's like, yeah, you're both terrible people.
You both suck.
Yeah, you both are the worst.
Yep.
Much like, nice segue. The character we're talking about in the movie we watched.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because that's what this podcast is actually.
Yeah, that's true.
Not what happened last week on YouTube, but it's about movies.
This was fun.
That's what's fun, yeah. I'm glad we do this.
I might get rid of the Syria discussion.
As the smartest people on YouTube, our insight on this is always the best.
Well, two men talking on a podcast, you know, it's never been done before, and we're very creative.
Right. We're breaking new grounds.
Honestly, I almost said religious instead of original. I don't know what's going on tonight.
Yeah, those are two concepts that are not really related at all. I like it.
The Scott Pilgrim. We watched Scott
Pilgrim. We watched Scott Pilgrim in anticipation of the animated one. That's,
yep.
Yeah, happening.
So have you watched the trailer for it yet at all?
Nope.
Okay, so to be frank with the animated trailer that they've shown, the one that we watched.
I thought you were Cole.
The problem that people seem to have with the new animation is very stiff. Like, the characters move their mouths, but they don't really sync with how they speak. The character models don't really move. It's just like the mouth part of them moving. Like, it just feels kind of cheaply animated, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
It's very reminiscent of the actual style of the comic book, or the graphic novel, I mean. But it's not as like life it doesn't have as much life as the graphic novel did, if that, it's weird as that sounds.
I think that makes enough sense. Like, you can tell that they're related, but just the graphic novel's just better. It's more life.
Yeah, exactly. But even still, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the 2010 movie, which, holy shit, that was like 13 years ago. What the fuck? God.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
And I will say this is by one of my favorite directors of all time, Edgar Wright.
Yeah, we love Edgar Wright in this house.
Yeah, absolutely true. I'm so excited for. How does Baby Driver have a 7.6? What do you mean? Huh?
Yeah, Baby Driver is not particularly well loved among his among his movies.
Oh, I'm looking at IMDb, and all of his stuff's sitting as like a 7. What the fuck?
What?
Yeah,
what top says that?
Hot Fuzz. Let me see. 7.8.
God. Hot Fuzz is a top tier. If anyone's never seen it, I highly recommend.
I have not seen it. I will put it on my list.
What?
I have not seen Hot Fuzz. Sorry, man.
Oh, it's one of my favorite movies. Well, the writing is so tight. They spent like a year working on the script. It's just everything in it works.
That's embarrassing. His most popular piece of media is Spaced, which is a TV series, and has an 8.5 out of 10.
We say most popular, like the highest rated?
Yeah.
Sorry. unfortunate.
That's kind of weird. I guess so. To be fair, much like Wes Anderson, he has a certain style to his films. Good.
Fair enough. I think I feel like you can recognize Wes Anderson immediately. I feel like it's a little more difficult to recognize Edgar Wright.
Well, I think one of the most important things with Edgar Wright to like realize what he's trying to go for is I'm trying to focus. There's a video playing. My brain's just like doing like ADHD shit. Edgar Wright's style is supposed to be very snappy, very quick, very very quick paced. If that makes sense. Like we were watching Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and like in the first 30 minutes or so, like we were like, okay, everything's been established, and this is the first time we're getting into a fight, and it's over. Okay, that's quick. All right, we're done. All right, here, like it was like here's knives. Here's the band. Here's Ramona. Here's him breaking up with knives. Okay, and we're moving on. Like, it was very... It got the info it needed across quickly, but we still felt the impact that it was supposed to give to the viewer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I agree. Just like really quick, like, you know, in like Mr. Beast videos, how like they don't really give you too much time to think to click away. It's just quick. We're getting there. We're getting it done. Yeah.
I've never watched a Mr. Beast video. No, I've seen one.
You never watched a Mr. Beast video?
I've seen one because my old roommate had it on the YouTube. I'm like, oh, this is stupid. All right, I'm going away now.
Yeah, they're stupid, very consumable. They're fun.
Surely this man will never make 2 million subscribers. Spits out my cereal.
No, how could he?
Yeah. But yeah, so we watched Scott Pilgrim. And for those of you who...
Mr. Beast, if you ever want to watch a movie with us, we'd love to have you on. Just let us know.
That'd be awesome, dude. I would love that.
Yeah, you can pick. We'll watch it.
We'll pick whatever. If you pick your own movie, we'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
I will actually sit through the entirety of Squid Game.
Oh, I watched Squid Game.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was one of those fun ones where, you know, like... Remember when we talked about Barbie a month ago?
Yes,
and like everyone thought that it supported their political ideology. Squid Game did a very similar thing.
Oh, nice! I love that.
I thought it always entertained me.
That also happened recently with. Sorry to sidetrack, but that also happened recently with Gen V, which is like the spin-off series for The Boys.
Oh yeah, I need to watch that.
Yeah, apparently they make a dunk on PewDiePie.
They do. They mention him being a Nazi again because that's the only joke we know about YouTubers from 6 years ago.
Yep. And people are like, I can't believe they would say this about someone. I'm just like, bro.
It seems really unnecessary.
Yeah,
like,
I don't disagree.
Why are we still on this? He's got like a wife and kids now. Like he's retired. Just
he's uploading again. He's uploading again. I think but he's like less uploading. He's like does like once a week, I think.
Well, he did like no videos for a long time, right?
Yeah,
and then he did a video when he had his kid, and now it's like, has he done more since then?
Yeah, I saw my timeline recently because I'm still subscribed. I was just like, oh, cool, he's still going. He made a video where he's like, I do 7 cool things for my baby. Like he learns to do 7 things to show off to his child. And I don't know why. That's like really sweet. I'm like, bro. You've come a long way from screaming at boxes. I'll just say that, man.
I like it. Wholesome content.
We keep getting off track, but I have to talk about this. Markiplier's movie trailer dropped this week too.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's the Iron Lung, right?
Yeah. The trailer's pretty cool. It's pretty sick. It doesn't show a lot about the movie itself, but it's like the concept of it, and it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. But I'll show you that afterwards. Anyways, back on track. Where were we? Oh god, we were talking about Scott Pilgrim, specifically something about it that led us into the rabbit hole of Mark Pewdie, Gen 5. You were talking about something.
We were talking about the snappy editing.
Yes, that's right. Thank you. God, I'm all over the place right now. But yeah, I like the style. And I guess some people just don't really click with it, which is fine. Like, sometimes when you want to watch a movie, you kind of want to take your time with it and, like, kind of get an understanding. But also, like, not to be rude, but the common man kind of likes their just, you know, oh, thing happened kind of movie, if that makes sense. Superhero-esque, if that, like, pacing.
Yeah, I think so.
Not as much anymore, but, you know, maybe at the time of this movie coming out, it was seen as kind of like that's kind of weird. And to be fair, the concept of the movie is a little bit out there. Much like the graphic novel it's based off of, it takes place in Toronto, Canada, with a character named Scott Pilgrim, who at the start of the movie is dating a 17-year-old. He is 22. And
woo, we did it.
Yeah, here's the thing. People like to say, oh man, I really like Scott because of, like, you know, the way he evolves as a character, yada yada yada. But a lot of people will go like, Scott's a weirdo. That's so weird of him. That's gross. How could you idolize him?
That's the point.
The point is that he's not a good person. Like he's clearly, all the characters around him are either like just being like, oh man, that's so cool, man, that's whatever, man, and there's one person in his life, Kimberly, who's literally telling him to go fuck off, like telling him he's just like a piece of shit for doing this to a literal child. Like, she's very clearly trying to tell him, like, hey, you're being a piece of shit. And his response every time is just like, ha ha ha, anyways. Like,
it'll be okay.
At the start of the movie, he's very much like trying to get validation from other people. Is like how I would describe his character.
Yeah, seems to be.
Like, anytime he's go ahead.
Well, he's pretty you know, like and all the words have left me. Like, it's very much an archetype, right? Like the really nervous and shy and not self-confident at all boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's heartbroken.
He like doesn't know who he is or what he's doing yet.
Yeah. The important thing to take away from, like, the starting of introducing Scott's character is a lot of the time he'll try to revolve the conversation around himself. About, like, oh, I'm great, right? I'm pretty cool, right? This is pretty epic of me, right? And the ideology is supposed to be like, wow, this guy's kind of like a selfish asshole. But as the movie progresses, you kind of learn, oh, that makes a lot more sense now as to why he was behaving the way he was. It doesn't make his behavior justified. It doesn't make sense for him as a character. Well, it might not make sense to us, but to his character, what he's doing is, you know, he doesn't see any problems. Whoa.
Yeah, I think so. Oh. If you try to engage with a little bit of empathy, you can usually figure out, like, what he's up to.
Right, exactly. Now, this is not me saying what he did is right. That's not at all. He literally, the whole point of the movie is that he learns what he did was wrong and that he's kind of fucked up. So
yeah,
it's weird because people are like, oh, but you're defending him. Like, yeah, defending that he is a bad person that learns to grow. I mean, like, we all should.
Defend him. I don't know. It's like, this is, people get.
Yes.
If you think about, like, a lot of, like, coming of age movies, especially for boys, and you think of things like Mighty Ducks or other, you know, movies similar, you know, non-offensive stuff, a lot of them are about, like, you know, kid who's, like, kind of an ass and needs to learn how to be a team player, or, you know, similar ideas. And people don't really get, like, upset about this, and they're like, oh yeah, kid was an ass at first, and then, like, they come around and, you know, everything works out in the end. I think it just gets weird since it's, like, affecting other people, especially women. Like, so people want to, it's like a bigger crime, so it needs more punishment.
Yeah. It's weird. It's, so, for example, Pat and I have been watching through some horror movies, and I know it's horror movie month. We're going to talk about FNAF next month. Just cut us some slack. Pat and I were talking about how like the villain of Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, Freddy Krueger, how he's like this, like, the concept of, like, evil, and he kills children and blah 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 blah, and you can be like, okay, I get it, he's a bad person, I understand, I can empathize with the characters, and I can understand where he's coming from, because in the later movies they talk more about him and more about his character. Then the reboot made him a pedophile, and it's like, well, now I've lost all empathy for whatever I had for this character. Like, whatever I felt about this character, now it just feels gross. I don't feel like he's cool or interesting. He's just a weirdo. And I think that might be what people are jumping to conclusions for when talking about Scott Pilgrim as a character. Is that because he's dating a girl who is still in high school, and they even point out the fact that she has, like, the school outfit and everything, people are immediately turned off by the concept of the character.
Right.
It's like one of those weird things. But either way, the whole point of the movie is that he learns to grow as a person and become a better person by fighting a bunch of evil exes that his current girlfriend, Ramona Flowers, had interacted with.
Yeah, a bunch of her exes.
And I think what is it, like 30 minutes when we get into the first fight, right?
Yeah, I even stopped to check because as we were watching, I was like, huh, this is taking longer than I remember.
Well, how long is the movie again? It's like 2 hours or something?
I think it's like an hour 50.
Yeah, so it's about 2 hours. It didn't really feel that long, to be honest. It like dragged a little bit near the end. But
I would think
go ahead.
7 X's is a lot. Like I remember the first just so we're all clear, I enjoyed it more this time watching it. I felt like more engaged and like had an easier time with it overall. But sorry. Anyway,
all good.
Something that I noticed, him being upset at Ramona isn't really something I like understood the first time, because like I think it's just because like the fights are going so well, and like it doesn't seem like it should be weighing on him as much as it does. And I think like having to deal with 7 X's, I think that takes a long time, and I think it can kind of pull people out because they're like enjoying the fights and they're kind of disengaging from the story a little bit.
Right.
But
go ahead.
With that said, I didn't feel that as much this time.
I think the most important thing to talk about with the idea, like you said, the 7 X's kind of drag on. I think Scott also feels that way, which is like, I guess, is a fun way for us to relate to a character. Who the hell? There we go. Because like him as a character, when we get to like the fourth X, after the 4th X, he's like, this is fucking ludicrous. This is insane. This is not worth it. I'm getting frustrated, and it's just this is ridiculous. And like, you know, he tells Ramona, like, this is a lot of work to do something that should be so easy. Why do you have to make everything so complicated? Yada yada yada. And they kind of have this big fight. And I guess we as the audience are like, yeah, hold on, he's onto something here. Like, there's a lot of stuff we're having to go through, a lot of stuff we're having to sit through, just for him to get a chance to date her. I feel silly.
Yeah.
So it kind of works in the context of what the film is trying to do. Obviously, like you said, not many people are going to enjoy that as a concept or an idea. I know, like, my dad, when he watched it, he didn't really... Oh, I just thought it'd be a fun video game movie, but it's a dumb romance thing. And I'm like, okay, Dad.
It does feel pretty like, young adult, juvenile.
Yeah.
Romance, tried to be. But I mean, there's a market for that, of course.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And
this movie actually, I'm pretty sure it bombed in the box office.
Did it really? Hold on, let me check. That would suck to hear.
And it's one of those that's like really accrued kind of a cult following since then. Like, people like this movie. It's spoken of really highly.
Oh yeah, it only made $47.7 million, and it costs around $85 to $90 million to make. Yeesh. And that's not including advertising and anything. God damn.
Yeah.
That's a rough one.
That's a loss.
Which is surprising to me that they're trying it again with the remake. I guess people really did want that animated version. I mean, fuck, there's a graphic novel, there's the book, there's the video game, there's the movie, and now I guess we have an actual show. Like, there's everything you could do with the franchise is now done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the video game's fun as fuck, by the way. Really cool. It's like a fun beat 'em up side scroller 2D, like how would I describe
Sort
it?
of like Street Fighter-esque.
Street Fighter S, but it's like a 3D, like a 3D environment. I don't remember what type of game. It's like a beat 'em up. Like you just beat up a bunch of goons and you just fight them.
I gotcha.
It's very fun. It's very fun.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing that's really fun is like the way that some of the shots are done to kind of mimic the comic. There's a moment where Scott holds up a photo of Ramona Flowers, trying to find out like who she is. And I believe that's from the comic as well. We'll check. I don't want that one. The graphic. Okay. That's hand drawn. That's not what I wanted. Yeah, so you never read the graphic novel, right?
Nope.
So there's a lot of like fun little. I'm gonna send a photo of one of the scenes. There's a lot of fun little details where, at the party when he sees Ramona, he has a red Solo cup that he's kind of squished, and it's hard to see. He did it on the last panel, but he like. The cup you can see is like really smushed together. They're against a wall together.
Yeah.
This one girl is like on the wall as he like walks past. The dialogue has changed slightly, but it ends with the same reaction of I'll leave you alone forever now. The dialogue he says in the movie is about Pac-Man, which he had recently used when talking to Knives, trying to make like small conversation.
Yeah. Well, it's that thing you do when you're talking to a girl where you like try to share a fun fact about whatever you guys are around to, so she thinks that you're smart or something.
Well, see, that's why
I don't know why, but I know everyone does it.
I mean,
if you're sitting at home thinking, no, I don't do that, and you're lying to yourself. And
I use it for when I talk about Peggle, and I get all the men with that. People love Peggle.
Yeah, there you go. Of course.
People love learning about. Do you know Master Bjorn's name in the code for the game is Horny? Like in the game's code, the photos they
there
use.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. It just happened.
HORNEY. It's like horn and then EY, because he's a unicorn.
Right, of course.
Yeah. Everyone else is named.
Sense.
No, everyone else has named their name. Like everyone else has like named their character's name except for Master Bjorn, and I don't get why.
Well, I mean, Master Bjorn, like, it's a long name. It's 2 words. So like there might be a space, and that's
there's a character named Lord Cinderbottom.
Yeah, but I mean, like Bjorn, like there's a J in there somewhere. Like people
that's
know how
true.
To
That's
that
just
word.
that's just a. That's true. That's true. So the Bjorn.
Bjorn, like,
but
come on.
I do like the fact that they changed the dialogue from this scene, because now it kind of reestablishes that he's just trying to do the bare minimum in order to get into a conversation with the character Ramona. And it sometimes that's something fun that could be done with the new adaptation of the medium, being able to like recontextualize a certain plot point, a character or story. The unfortunate part is because of how, I hate to say this, how short the media of movies are. We don't really get a long time for the characters to really grow. There's a lot of like development and character like growth throughout the graphic novel that feels way more earned. Like there's a moment near the end, I guess we can get into spoiler territory, where he learns.
Before you do, I just want to say I like that you used the word earned there, because I think that's kind of what I was getting at earlier. Like a lot of it doesn't necessarily feel earned in this. Like you can see how we're meant to arrive there, but I do think the movie would benefit from an extra 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, like some more time with Knives and like her whole story, and like I would add any more time to the fight scenes. Maybe add more to Ramona and Scott's relationship. There's a lot that they explore in the graphic novel. They have like a lot of the last line of dialogue, which isn't really a big spoiler because it's a well-known line, is that she says, "You're the nicest person I've ever dated," and that's pretty early on in the graphic novel. She says that line to him. They also talk about how she changes her hair and everything, but most importantly, they talk about how like how emotionally vulnerable she is and how she might behave certain ways. In the movie, she just kind of changes her behavior. In the actual graphic novel itself, they explain who causes it and what's happening, as well as like the weird doorways she keeps going through. Like they explain, like she just travels through people's minds because it's sometimes faster than just on the ice, which is like a whole thing that they never really touch on. You just kind of accept it. Like when she's in his mind, that's literally just her in his mind. It's not just like an imagination of her. It's literally just her.
Don't they reference that in the movie?
Good.
But it's played like a joke.
Yeah, she said the line of like it's 3 miles and 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's a thing that's more heavily addressed in the graphic novel.
Right. Because when I heard it, I was like, oh, she's having a laugh. Like,
yeah. No, she was being serious. Okay. Yeah, she literally just travels in his mind because it's faster.
Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. Good to know.
It's weird, right? Because it's like, oh, this must be a dream sequence. No, that's real. That's what she's doing right now.
Huh.
Anyways, but that's just kind of what happens when you try to translate a media over to a shortened length. You lose stuff in the translation. What they don't lose is the amount of like video game references and callbacks. Obviously, not like a big deal, but I was surprised by how often they use the Zelda music. And I found out why. Apparently, Edgar Wright obtained permission to use the famous theme from The Legend of Zelda by writing a letter to Nintendo saying that it is considered to be the nursery rhyme of this generation. Which, I guess? Like, I don't know. Weird. This is just my thing. My nostalgic music pick for like this generation probably going to be the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack. You've heard of it, I'm sure. You've heard of it at some point, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's very nostalgic. If you've never played the game, there's something very like it sounds ancient in a good way.
I gotcha.
But Zelda is that's a pick, Edgar, I guess. I don't mind it. It was funny. It was fun to listen to. Just be like, oh, that's a weird reference.
I'm trying to think of games that like everyone has played,
or like
that would be like around our age, and Donkey Kong Country is probably a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
I can see where he's coming from. If like any of that is from Wind Waker or Ocarina of Time.
Well, that's from the original for the SNES, the music that was used. Although I guess technically,
but
the pieces that were used have been reused in later games.
Right.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
What would we do for a game that everyone's played these days if we're going to appeal to like a younger audience? Right? I guess it'd have to be like,
you know the answer. Just say
Track or something.
No, you know the answer. If you're talking about the younger generation, you know the answer. Come on.
Oh, is it Fortnite?
It's Fortnite.
Oh, of course. All right.
As much as it hurts to say, it's the game everyone plays.
Hey, be far beyond me.
It's either that or gonna be Five Nights at Freddy's, which it doesn't really have a lot of music, but I guess it has enough sound effects. People be like, "Oh, it's I know that sound. It's the camera. It's the camera going."
Well, maybe like Oh no, maybe like the Persona music.
Oh, you know what? That's a way better pick. You got me there. Persona 5. That shit's like embedded in the brains of the young people.
Oh, some of the Cuphead music. I know. I guess I don't know how many people like really played that game, but I know it shows up in YouTube videos all the time.
I mean, the music's just
Cuphead music, Persona music, and like Valheim music are things that I hear all the time.
Oh yeah, that's good. Those are some good picks. Those are some good picks. I'm sure the next generation is going to pick from Half-Life 3 music because that'll definitely, right?
Oh yeah,
it's happening.
Coming out soon, just like Star Citizen. Yeah.
Did not come out yet?
Well, I mean, you can play it, but it's in alpha.
Oh, okay. I mean, hey, it's better than what you used to talk about it like years ago, being like, it's going to be so cool when it comes out, guys.
Oh yeah. No, I'm willing to accept that it will probably never like get an actual release, but I don't know. As it stands, it's like the size of plenty of other games. That's all for
Yeah.
$60. So
And then
is what it is.
Starfield came out and did everything it was trying to do, but somehow worse.
Yeah, I haven't been too impressed with Starfield.
Did you get it?
Well, Rachel got it, and we share Steam libraries, so I guess you could say I got it.
Like me and Pat, I get it.
Yeah.
From what I've seen,
I assume it's exactly like you and Pat.
From what I've seen, it's people are saying it's another Bethesda game in a positive way, and I'm like, that's not a good thing.
That's a way of saying in a negative way.
Yeah.
I think it's very cool of Bethesda to have acquired a business model where they can release a 70% complete game and then just let their community finish it for them. Because other games, like other communities, won't do that. But Bethesda fans, they're willing. They put in the time.
They bend over for them.
They're heroes, yeah. Anyway, Scott Pilgrim.
Right. Sorry, I got lost by something weird.
Yeah, okay. Do you want to talk about it?
No, I saw the word Ready Player One on like an old background. I'm like, what the fuck? But it's a whole other thing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, apparently it was just like someone's like custom made list about like video game related movies. So I was kind of weirded out by that. Anyways. But I guess we could talk about how. Oh, okay. There's an alternative ending of this movie where Scott Pilgrim gets with knives at the end of. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of that. It got changed obviously with how it currently ends, but I don't think that's the right way to end it. I don't even have the manga ends.
I was gonna say, how does the comic end? Because I feel like
let me double check that before going any further.
Well, I guess it's just how to express thoughts.
Let me check.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, according to this, Nega Scott stops fighting and becomes one with Scott. Oh, that's a whole thing they skipped out on in the movie.
So, yeah, that was just played for a joke.
Yeah, that was a whole other thing that they really build up to. I guess they might have done it because they felt like they were running out of time. If they
had like a 2-hour time limit, then I can see them skipping out on that.
Wow, this article did nothing to tell me how it ends. It tells me, yeah, he fights Nega Scott. Scott gets a second chance with everyone and everything, but comic Scott doesn't get that luxury. He has to fight to right his mistakes and make amends. The end result is that Scott Pilgrim becomes far more deserving of his relationship. That doesn't really... What? Well, this is... Oh, God. It's one of those, like one of those news channels that, like, spend all its time like criticizing pieces of media, but like misses the point of it. Someone did that recently with God. What was it? There's a movie that came out recently, and someone's just like, "Oh, why did the character not just do this if they had the power to do it?" And the people are like, "It's because the writers didn't want that to happen." Like, kind of how it happens sometimes.
Oh, that's not really a good reason.
No, I guess so. No, it's not a good reason, but it's like, I don't know.
I mean.
It's a reason. It's a reason.
Do we need to get?
I'm not saying
I don't know how long you want to go in on this, but like I don't know if there's a conflict and the character has the means to end the conflict in a way that's like positive to them and they don't take it, then you can't really blame the audience member for being taken out of the movie for that. I
think what it was about how come this character who couldn't do that's right. The character couldn't do the thing that the person was suggesting they do at the time and calling it criticism, being like, the character should have just done this. And then people point out, no, they couldn't have because in the point of the story, they couldn't have done. I wish I could remember what it was over. Oh my God. I just remember that.
I can think of some examples of similar things.
I just remember. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, just in general, like if there's a locked door in front of us and, I'm like, God, we need to get inside this store. And you're like, well, I have a key. And I'm like, God, I just wish we could get into that door somehow. Like, You
Right.
know, we're not getting any like, yeah, an audience isn't gonna like side with us all. They're gonna be like, you idiots, why aren't you just doing the thing? So
Right.
if you have like a story, if you have like your plot or your character arc relies on them not solving the issue for you to like have the payoff you're looking for, I get that, but that means that you've written yourself into a corner and you
Right.
need to back up a little bit and try again. Because like in I always talk about Star Wars, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Like in The Last Jedi, there's that whole chase through space, and they're like, oh, we can't catch up to them because their ship is smaller and lighter. It's like, you have multiple ships. Have one, like, first of all, that's not how space works. Second, have one hyperspace in front of them, and then like cut them off.
I will say,
And it's like, right, but if we did that, then we wouldn't have a story. It's like, okay, then that means we have a bad story if our characters just aren't using their resources. We need to think this over. We need to do something else instead. We can have the same plot. We just need to, the same plot beats, I suppose. We just need to change how we're going about it because this isn't working.
I will say it's very funny. You made the exact same point that Pat made when we were watching. He's like, so wait, why can't they catch up to him? It's like, oh, it's because their ship is too small but too fast for them, and it's out of range. He's like, why can't they just use their smaller ships to attack them? He's like, well, they can't be protected. He's like, what do they have to protect from? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all valid points. And when people are like, oh, it's not
5
that big
minutes
of a
after
deal,
learning
like,
the plot.
Well, it's what the whole movie's kind of based around. And if it's not that big of a deal, why did the writer feel a need to play a scene of the characters explaining the situation to us? Right. They thought it was a big enough deal to address. Like,
well, as you know, space is just like
annoying.
the ocean. So like, you can only go like so many ways on the ocean.
Right.
And it's basically the same way. Take the bait. Take the bait.
Yep.
Take the bait. Take the bait. Come on, man. Come on.
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm
Damn it. You got me there. Okay. Either way.
Anyway, I did want to say before, because we were talking about the ending, or at least the changes from like turning it into a movie. Like we watched Lord of the Rings together. And like the books and the movie aren't the same. There's plenty of things that are different. And a big change is the scouring of the Shire. It's like Saruman is alive after Sauron's destroyed. And then there's like more conflict that happens in the Shire. And that's not in the movie. Obviously, they kill Saruman earlier. And then after Sauron's defeated, like, there's still 20 minutes worth of endings happening. But there isn't any drama happening in the Shire besides like our characters just reconciling with what's happened. So, the endings are different, but the same goals are kind of accomplished. You still get the sense that like they essentially PTSD'd from their adventure. They have to live in this world knowing what they've seen, and no one else is like
aware.
No one else can empathize. Yeah, no one else is aware of what they've been through. So it's different, but it accomplishes the same goals.
Yeah, I get you.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important when translating media over to take what you think is worth taking back over. Like the idea, like you could have done a thing where Scott had a completely separate bed from his roommate, who by the way his roommate's gay, and the joke is like every time that Scott wakes up from a nightmare, he has like another man in the bed with him. Like that is the running gag of that character. You could have added like a thing where it's like, oh, Scott lives with him, but he has like a separate couch he lays on. But he kept that because it was not only funny, but it kind of adds to the ideology of this character being, kind of lonely, like just depressed and like stuck in this really weird situation, and he doesn't realize how weird it is.
Yeah. Like
it's important to keep the important parts, and sometimes it's hard to keep everything.
Yeah.
I still need to
sit
overall,
down. Well, I guess I shouldn't say because I haven't read the graphic novel, but I imagine this probably did pretty good.
You should probably read the graphic novel at some point if you found the characters endearing enough.
Yeah, if I I imagine I'll probably watch the show because I think Rachel will want to, and then if I enjoy that enough, I'd probably be down to read the graphic novel as well. Yeah.
I think it's something that I probably will go back to read to after watching this again. Just be like, I should give another chance. I should remember it. I wish they did this with Bone, but they're never going to do that with Bone. So I guess I'll only have this. Only one of my favorite childhood graphic novels are going to be able to retold. God, Bone is so good. Bone.
Haven't read it.
Oh, bro, it's like, what if we took like Mickey Mouse characters and put them into the story of Lord of the Rings? Like that's literally just the plot.
Oh, wasn't that the game that you've been playing lately?
Hmm. What game?
That's the game that you've been playing.
No, not Kingdom Hearts. Shut up. No, I mean
yeah,
like
Kingdom Hearts. Yeah,
I mean like I'm talking like cartoon characters are just shoved into the plot of like the world ending in this like village town. It's very silly, very fun. Like they have a scene where there's a cow race where an old lady beats all the cows in the running of the race. It's very, and like that's taken as seriously as the literal embodiment of like death itself coming for them. It's very well done.
Oh,
I would read it. I would give it a read too.
man, you recommend?
Highly recommend. Highly recommend. But this review's kind of been all over the place. Kind of like the movie at times.
We've been having fun with it.
Oh, absolutely. Much more loose.
Man.
Either way, I think this movie is pretty fun to rewatch. I'm very glad you got more out of it. So why did you not like it when you first watched it? Do you think you were on the right headspace, or like do you think it was just like what was it?
Probably a headspace thing.
That's fair.
I remember thinking it was fine, but like I think I just had a hard time taking it seriously.
Gotcha.
Maybe I imagine I probably wasn't paying as much attention, so like the more subtle character stuff probably wasn't I probably wasn't picking up on it, and then like any changes that were happening like because of that felt out of the felt unreasonable.
Yeah, and the other really important thing too when watching and rewatch is like noticing all the little details. Like there's a moment where he's talking and you can hear the sound of like a coffee going off in the background as it's boiling over, as they mention his own ex, Scott's ex. And it's supposed to be like this moment of yeah, like there's a lot of really cute little like sound effects and like moments of character behavior that's very silly when you realize the context of it. And you're like, oh, that's very silly, but it makes sense. There's a lot of cute moments like that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it is picking up on things like that made it a better experience this time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I will go ahead and give this 7 out of 11 evil X's, which is how many X's I have. Maybe I don't remember. I don't date a lot.
No,
probably about 4. Say 4 evil X's. That's what I'll give it.
4 of your X's are evil?
They're X's.
Oh, okay.
No?
Fair enough. I'd give this a solid 200 feet of skateboard grinding. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god. There's a lot we didn't talk about with this movie, but you definitely should watch it because it's just a fun time. This is one of those...
it is just
Good.
Oh, I guess something I wanted to mention earlier. So some people just like don't like watching animated stuff at all. I think those people are kind of silly, but it's art. If enjoy what you will, and be it far beyond me to tell you what to watch. But something that I've always kind of said is the nice thing about animated features is you have a few more options. There's more things you can do with them than in live action. And this seems to really push it because they do a lot of cartoony stuff in this, and it's a lot of fun to watch. A lot of it looks really good.
A lot of silly stuff and a lot of added effects to like add on to that a lot of silly effects that they add to kind of emphasize a moment. Like when they're all playing in the band together, they have like a little electric lights that come out from their guitars. There's literally a fight between two of the like the group of people where there's like 2 snakes flying around with like a big gorilla fighting them. It's very overtop and silly.
Oh yeah. And like
very, very fun.
Like little character cards show up when we're introducing characters, and like tells us their age and like something about them.
And usually it's a thing that they just said about them.
Yeah, it's like good visual gag too.
Yeah, it's very fun. It's very fun. So yeah, I highly recommend giving it a watch if you have a moment.
Definitely. And with that said, it'll be a little bit harder to engage with it.
Yeah,
for some people because of these things, but if
you have the attention span for it, go for it.
Yeah. Well, it's just it works for some people, doesn't work for others. I know plenty of people who had a hard time with Everything Everywhere because it was just too much,
yeah.
too wild and wacky.
And I want to rewatch that again. My birthday's coming up. I might go rewatch that as a treat for myself.
I gave it a rewatch 2 weeks ago. It holds up.
God, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah, phenomenal movie.
Oh, well, deserved every reward.
We actually reviewed it.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Well, we reviewed like half of it, and then we were like, okay, we should probably save the rest for people to watch.
It's a hard movie to review because it's like huge and it's so
happening.
Dense with stuff.
Too much stuff. You know what? Maybe there's too much stuff. Maybe there is too much of a good thing in movies. There, I said it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm in a film appreciation class. My professor could not get through it. He said, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Wait, but you're a movie doctor, like literally
you're
PhD.
A movie doctor.
What are you doing?
You're a movie doctor."
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how much this guy really has to teach me if he can get through Everything Everywhere. But all right.
Yeah. What was it? When I was in, there was a movie I watched with a lad in class. My teacher was like, "Listen, I don't like this film, but it's a foreign film and we have to watch it so you can understand the beauty of foreign films. I'm sorry." And it was just Groundhog Day, but in Russian. Like, that's all it was.
I think my laugh got cut out, but yeah, just like the plot of Groundhog Day, but it's in Russian.
The plot was that this girl was trying to like dump her ex, and like every single time that she was trying to dump her ex or something, and like people were trying to kill her, and every time she died, she woke up and had to start the day. So I guess it was more like Happy Death Day, if you remember that movie.
Yeah, that movie's just Groundhog Day also.
Yeah, so
I get it.
It's just that, but over and over and over, and I'm just like, okay, I've seen this concept before, but now it's just in a language I don't understand.
Well, if you're gonna do a foreign film to appreciate foreign movies, like I guess I haven't seen the movie, so don't know for sure, but I imagine you'd want to pick something that's like really different,
Right. It wasn't shot
on a more fundamental level.
It had a lot of music, which was pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. A lot of foreign music.
I mean,
try to be epic. Kind of neat.
Epic.
It was really trying hard to be cool. It was very weird. But yeah, even she was just like, "This movie fucking sucks."
Poor movie.
I don't even remember its fucking name. Oh my god. I'm going to think about this movie for the next month, and I'm going to remember the name. I'm going to text you it. I'm like, "Sure, buddy, whatever."
I'm going to be like, text from Cole. Excellent.
Anyways, I think that about wraps it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for getting through all of our tangents and rants.
Hopefully you're here for us more than the movie.
Yeah, true. And don't worry, next month will be Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
That's a movie.
I said this earlier. That's going to be another good one where, like Sonic, where I haven't played the games, but now I've seen the movie, and then Cole has played the games and will have seen the movie. So you'll get it from the dual perspectives once again.
Well, what's crazy too is that Scott Cawthon wrote this story, and apparently it went through 15 rewrites.
15 rewrites? So that's 14 more than The Last Jedi. I'm excited.
Between 12 and 15.
I'm sorry, that's 15 more. Because it was the first draft.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, no.
I get it.
Because if it went through 15 rewrites, I assume it went through 16 writes then. Because for a rewrite, it has to be. Fuck it. Anyway.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.